Hello to everyone. I'm doing my final packing. This is it. This is about to happen. And tomorrow morning we head to Austin to fly out. I'll be driving. Chris is working tonight, so he'll be tired. But we leave at 6 a.m. And he'll drop me off at the airport, and I'm headed on the adventure of a lifetime. And I just thought, I may be doing this trip by myself, but I think I'd like to take some folks along on it too. I hope that y'all enjoy it. I hope that I can be interesting. I hope I don't say too many times. It's usually why I don't make too many videos. Talk a bit too much, and I get boring and I say a whole lot. So I'm going to shoot for not doing that. First thing I want to do is kind of give just tell everybody how this happened, because it's kind of an unusual circumstance. It's not very often, and it wouldn't be my choice to head off to Israel all by myself. But this is what the Lord has, the situation or the trip the Lord has created for me. And so I wanted to explain how that happened. And so I think it was January, it was either December of 22 or January 2023. My husband hears about a trip to Israel with a tour group that our church is going to make. Members of our church have been invited. And he says, "Honey, you've always wanted to go, and I want you to go, so let's do it." So we started saving up. The trip was going to leave, and it was going to go in October of 2023. 9 days before the trip, and Israel is devastated by October 7. The trip was delayed, of course. Our group, the group we were a member of, chose to delay for 1 year. So here we go, waiting again. When October 2024 arrives, or actually before then, the group that I was initially a member of decided, they just didn't feel comfortable. That too many people were afraid to go. They were going to cancel. Myself and others, we changed to a different group. When that group got close to time to go, well, they didn't feel so comfortable either. There was just, it just went back and forth and round, and the tour company made bad decisions and purchasing tickets, and trip was getting postponed, and my desire had not waned at all about going. My desire to go had only strengthened, had grown. I was more certain than ever that this is what I was supposed to do. But what in the world? It seemed like my opportunity to go was falling apart, while my desire to go was growing. What does that mean? Well, my husband, I think, was the first one who said that it was possible that I could go by myself. And I started doing some research and looking, because everything I looked at, every avenue I tried, talking to friends and people I knew, and tour groups and different tour groups, and it was like just doors shutting in front of me all the time. And every time I pursued this possibility of just going it alone, the doors seemed to open. Next thing you know, that's the way I'm going. I'm going at this alone. Well, that's pretty scary. Not too sure about that. And but wouldn't you know it, the Lord had an answer for that too. Let me show you. So, He really helped me. It might seem a little obsessive. It might seem a little much. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes me feel comfortable and prepared for this trip. It's taken months, mind you, to put all this together, so it's been a great deal of preparation. But I've got my tickets, reservations, and confirmations booked. Everything from, travel IDs and information, the plane tickets, rental car, my rooms, each of those, all that. Good to go. Now, in northern Israel, you see my plans when I get there is to get my rental car, and I'll have a rental car, and each day I'll drive to wherever and do these excursions, self-led with some of the research I've done. I'll show you that. But in northern Israel, in many areas, if you're familiar with what's been going on, you'll know that they've been bombed quite often. Well, in order to kind of complicate the bombing that's happening, they have turned off GPS. I don't know if there will be GPS in northern Israel when I get there. There might be, because Hezbollah and Hamas has been fairly quiet lately. But just in case, I'm ready. I'll show you. So here's my itinerary. Each day has an itinerary that's simple and lays out exactly where I'm going and what I'm doing for that day. Then, all my necessary driving directions from one site to the next. Here's my first full day there. I'll be in Jaffa in Tel Aviv, and then Caesarea National Park, and then the what is that? Mount Carmel. Carmelite Monastery is where I plan on stopping, in Mount Carmel. And then to my stop in Nazareth, where I'll stay the night. Well, check it out. I've got a step-by-step instruction for each and every stop along the way. Okay. Then Nazareth, what I'm calling the Sunday morning church crawl. Sunday morning, I have found a Baptist church that's about a 12 to 15 minute walk from the guest house I'll be staying at. So once I go to church that morning, then I'll walk through the many different churches on the way back to where I'm staying. There's many different churches that are famous there in Nazareth. And so I will stop through and walk and take pictures, and almost all of them, most of them, are Annunciation this or that. So after I get back to my room, I will pick up the rental car and head to Mount Precipice, and then Megiddo for the afternoon. There's all my maps for that. The next day then is the Galilee day. And so Galilee, there's quite a few stops: Magdala and Mount of Beatitudes, Capernaum. I'm going to try to baptize in the Jordan River that day, even if I have to self-baptize. I know it's not biblical, but I know that the Lord knows my heart. So we'll see how that works out. He knows my heart and my desire. I'll be having lunch that day at Katzrin Park, which I'm excited about, because all of the food in your lunch is harvested, ground. The grain is ground, and the bread is baked right there in the park. Everything comes from like within 40 kilometers of the park, and it's all been made in really the same ancient ways they used to. So I'm excited about that. It's things like, breads and cheese and fruits and vegetables that are all grown and harvested right there. So that sounds pretty cool to me. I don't know about you. On my way back, I will go to Churches of Tabgha, the Jesus boat, what they call, the kind of boat that they may have used back then. They did use them. And my last stop is Mount Arbel for the day. The And of course, all the maps. Maps. The next day, I'll be leaving Nazareth and headed south. And my first stop is Bet Shemesh. And then next will be in the Elah Valley, where David defeated Goliath. Let's see, Marisha. And then the last stop is Tel Beersheba, before making it to my hotel that night along the Dead Sea. In the morning, the next morning, I'll be getting up nice and early and headed to Masada to hike the Snake Trail at sunrise. This one is a bit intimidating because it's been a while since I did any kind of challenging hike, but I am bound and determined even if it takes me an hour. They say it's not really that difficult of a hike, but it is quite a bit of, I don't know, going up, climbing. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. But please pray for me. Anyway, so after Masada is En Gedi, and then Qumran, and then the Dead Sea. I will float in the Dead Sea if it's not too freezing cold. I'm really praying that the water is warm, and that's a warm day. We'll see how that goes. And then that evening is the first time I will arrive in Jerusalem, where I'll be staying at a bed and breakfast. All right, so preparation. Here's more preparation. Months and months of preparation. So again, what I have this organized is each day, you can take each day out like this and put it in a small folder. So I'm not carrying the whole thing. So I can hike with this small amount of paper and it's not going to be heavy and cumbersome. And so what this is that each day I have my itinerary again, right? Itinerary. And then Bible studies and the biblical references for each location. And so the studies have come from a couple different sources. I kind of went through them and picked out my favorites, and also have reservations for the different parks because they recommend you do that. Although I don't expect them to be super busy. Caesarea Maritima. And so this is kind of my heart for this channel and these videos, is that as I'm exploring these sites, as I'm doing the Bible studies, you can do some of them with me. I hope that you enjoy this as much as I'm going to. And then each day, my page for notes. What happened for the day? What did God reveal to me? What did I learn today? What did I experience? Good experiences, bad experiences. What did I miss and I need to visit next time? What do I need to spend more time at? I'll be honest, I'm already thinking about my next trip, and I haven't even left the ground here yet. But man, I feel like my feet are already floating. Oh yeah. So come along with me. Come along with me and enjoy. And I just want everybody to know, this was not something like I never imagined that I would be doing what I'm about to do. But I have followed the Lord's direction. I have not continued to push against the doors he was closing, but I've been willing to walk through the doors he was opening. Even the ones that seemed like, what? This is crazy. I could have easily said, no, it's just not my time to go. But I'd have been disappointed. I'd have felt like I had given up. Like I had let go of a yearning for fear. So it was important for me to keep going, even though this prospect of going to the other side of the earth all by myself can be intimidating. To me, this is my evidence. This is it right here. The Lord walked me through this preparation so that I could do what I'm doing. He doesn't leave us. He doesn't push us off in some direction and then let us figure it all out. Not if we ask Him for help. And all of this is evidence of that. So what an exciting thing. I know if He's opened the doors in this direction, and this is what He wants me to do, and it's such a big, like, momentous moment. It's scary, it's exciting, it's all of this stuff, and it's taken literally 2 years in the making. What's He going to do with all this? What's He going to do with me? So come along. Come along and enjoy. I love you all. Good night.